Hi. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is my typical every year Road to WrestleMania suck video because let's be honest here, the Road to WrestleMania usually sucks, especially in modern wrestling. Modern wrestling, the Road to WrestleMania is not really good, unfortunately, because it's modern wrestling and they don't really know how to make a good wrestling show. You may say that, it's better now because Triple H is in charge. Yet it's honestly no fucking different. People are going to probably say, it's because, Vince McMahon is back. That is just a cop-out excuse, okay? Because, come on, have you guys not seen, most of these matches that are clearly created by Triple H, and yet still the build has not been great? I'm not saying the build to WrestleMania majority has been terrible. I will say this. I will give credit about this year. It's not completely the worst road to WrestleMania as compared to last year. I do think generally the build to WrestleMania has been better than last year, but not good. It hasn't been good. Let's be honest here. Even with Triple H in charge, do I see with Triple H in charge now in WWE, mostly in charge of creative, is the show better? Not necessarily. It's not better because he's catering to smarks. He's not really doing much in terms of generating characters or storylines unless you're part of the bloodline. The only legit storyline that's been generating through characters or storylines legit is relating to the bloodline or even the Judgment Day kind of. Which is why I would give credit to some feuds that they've been genuine interest, they've been intriguement, especially because of some certain star powers, right? But in terms of has it been good? Not necessarily. That's why I do think this Road to WrestleMania has not been good because there's been Raw and SmackDowns that's been boring. It's been not exciting to make me intrigued to really care about WrestleMania. The only thing that I can say about this Road to WrestleMania is that it's better in terms that yes. You know how people start to say long-term booking, pretend that's a thing or whatever, or care about? I will say, sure, there is a bit more long-term booking, and there's still a bit, because, there are feuds that are ending at WrestleMania. There's feuds that have been kind of going since for, a while, since SummerSlam or whatever, they're culminating at WrestleMania. For example, Edge versus Finn Balor. It's going to happen at WrestleMania. And that's been a feud that started in the summer, and it's going to culminate at WrestleMania, which I do like. The Bloodline with Sami Zayn, his issue with the Bloodline, him being part of the group, now no longer part of the group, and his attempt to take down the Bloodline. That's help going at WrestleMania. So the long-term booking is there. Roman's story as, this tribal chief is there. So, it's going. And to be fair, I will say this. The shows has been generally, a bit... I give credit maybe with Triple H a little bit. I'm not saying it's, completely him, though. It could be also people who are helping him, but, I'm not saying, it's not always, because, Vince McMahon... I mean, who knows? Maybe it is because also Vince, he helping a little bit. You never know. You never know. After all, come on, Vince McMahon was part of the ad here. He helped fucking make wrestling where it is today. Well, but he created... I'm not saying... Obviously, him doing Lesnar versus Almost is not a good match, okay? I'm not saying that that's not his idea. But the thing is, certain matches, sure, created by McMahon, they're not good. Fine, But, to be fair, Lesnar and Wyatt, was the original plan. Apparently, Lesnar versus Stone Cold was the original plan as well. But it doesn't... You can't really blame McMahon for that when there's no one who Lesnar can face. I mean, again, I don't know why the fuck they're not doing Lesnar and Lashley at WrestleMania. Why not just go with that match anyways? But, whatever, That's what happens when Wyatt got sick or got injured. I don't know. Wyatt is a lost cause anyways. They fucking, Wyatt's a fucking joke. Okay, first of all. Wyatt's a fucking joke. But, regardless, so... With that shit, that's done. But, obviously, by theory, Lesnar, Lashley should have been the main event. Not main event. Should have been one of the WrestleMania matches. Saying that's not going to happen. But, yeah. But there was different plans. So you can't always blame McMahon for that. But, you got to plan a better idea. But, yeah, almost or whatever. Some people say it's Trish and Lita being there is his idea. Maybe fucking they want to be there, don't you think? Yeah, I find it funny. Like, just because certain things that people don't like, people think is already Vince. Like, maybe sure, Lesnar almost might be a match that's by Vince. But, like, you really think because it's... Like, who doesn't want to see Trish and Lita on WrestleMania or whatever? Like, Trish and Lita are not only are the hottest and most amazing women in wrestling ever. Like, what's the problem of not having them at WrestleMania? Like, come on, they're the biggest stars. Like, it helps make WrestleMania more watchable. You know what I mean? Whatever. But, again, the build has not been great because there's been Raws that's been boring and SmackDowns. You know, there's like a lot of these few, sure, there is like long-term booking a little bit, but it's not always like true. Not all these matches like are intriguing also. That's the fucking problem. And a lot of them are like just like matches that Smarts either try to care or pretend to care about. It's not really intriguing and shit like that. But, you know, I would say it's better than last year. Sure, it's better than last year, but it's not by much. The reason why I'm saying it's not by much, and it's like because it's been boring. Like, a lot of these things are boring. A lot of these shows are not generating like really good interest and shit to make me really care about much. To like say this is might be a good WrestleMania. I think it's mostly because of the build, but WrestleMania, because on paper it does look like it could be a good show if it's booked right, but a lot of it is not executing good. Maybe at WrestleMania will be fine. Maybe WrestleMania will be a fine show. I'm not denying that. But it's not always going to be probably, in my opinion, a good case of things in terms of like a mostly good show, as it could be. It's just like, in my opinion, it could have been way better if like if this show tried to be more Attitude Era-esque, more Ruthless Aggression-esque than just indie matches with no stories. Like they should be building more stories and characters than just matches and shit. Like, you know what I mean? That way we could care about these matches more. It should have been better build, more heat to the feuds, you know? Like Lesnar Reigns, again, what didn't help is that, my dad is Dusty Rhodes, but then like literally the last week before WrestleMania, this isn't about my father. Like, really? What the fuck is wrong? Why are you fucking going back and forth with your bullshit, man? What is it? Are you doing this for your father or not? Or why is it, my dad Dusty Rhodes and shit and blah blah blah? I hate that. Again, you have to be fair, the heat was more there for Cody, for Zayn versus Roman, because again, based on what happened to the Bull and what happened in Royal Rumble, if that match was happening more at WrestleMania, there would have been more heat for that feud. Sadly, that's not the case. It is what it is. It's just like, obviously, what doesn't help is like The Rock not feeling. Obviously, if The Rock versus Roman was happening in Mania, it would have been way better because of more star power. And if anything, the story kind of needs The Rock. It's just like, he's more a big star. Cody Rhodes, I don't give a shit about Cody Rhodes. He's not this star that people pretend to care about. He just, if he wins a title, it's just like it'll be like the same thing will happen in AEW. They're gonna turn their back on him, and he's a Smarks delight. I'm sorry, he's not really that good. He's pretty boring, pretty mid. All that kind of shit. Okay. But yeah, like the build has not been that great, people. It's just like, I guess, like lack of much star power, but it's at least compared to last year. But hey, I mean, it does have a better, like, some of the matches do have better builds, which I will give credit with that. So I can give credit to that. So let's talk about. I mean, I'm pretty tired. I'm just rushing. But like, let's talk about freaking WrestleMania. Let's talk about the matches. So the matches for, like, let's say night one. These are announced, like, the matches so far for night one. So Austin Theory versus John Cena, which is planned to be opening the show of night one. Cena should win. The reason why I say Cena should win is because, listen, when Cena destroyed Austin Theory on the mic, how does it make sense for Austin Theory to beat him? Okay? How does it make sense when Austin Theory has been treated like a jobber and he lost to these jobbers? How does it make sense for him to beat Super Cena? You know what I mean? Sure, he beat Edge, but it's like, it's stupid. That was stupid. But it's like, come on. How is Austin Theory good? What's good about Austin Theory besides, him looking like Cena? He just looks like Cena. That's it. Like, he has a shittiest finisher, shitty catchphrase, shitty mic skills, a shitty fucking theme song, a shitty catchphrase, shitty everything. He's shit. Also doesn't help that he's gay in real life, where he showed his butthole and finger himself. He's basically just like Ricochet. They might as well start tagging called the finger popping faggots. That's what it is. Like, come on here, like how does this make sense? If anything, it's good to have Cena win because it's a good way to open the show. He's a top star. It just would ruin the appeal of Super Cena, and not just that. Why not? Like, that would lead to another up and coming star who beats John Cena would be good. In my opinion, Sol Sikoa is a good contender to beat John Cena. Heck, you could even say Braun Breaker in the future. Maybe if you build something, Braun Breaker is a star. Heck, I even think Dominic Mysterio beating John Cena to become a future big star, beating John Cena. I think so. The story could be there. You build up how John Cena knew Dominic as a kid and shit. That would be something good in the future. So I think that there's more potential with John Cena winning the U.S. title. You could do some stupid open asshole bullshit, open chance nation. And some stupid gay Austin Theory bullshit feud. Like, who's gonna feud and who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. This is gonna be Logan Paul's birthday match. By logic, maybe his birthday he should win. You know, I don't know. I do like with Seth Rollins. It would make sense for him to win because he's getting beat up, and I don't mind. Again, I don't mind whoever wins. I do think this could be a good match. Obviously, the stories that Logan Paul eliminates Seth Rollins, which what is good about the Royal Rumble to establish stories from there and shit like that. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind Logan Paul winning, but I think if by logic, I mean this should have happened at night too. Like losing on your birthday and shit. But yeah, I mean it just it makes more sense and beneficial if Logan Paul wins, honestly, because Logan Paul, he could be a future star, but apparently his contract is expiring. But then you gotta renew it because the guy is actually built for this business. If you think about it, I wouldn't even mind if Logan Paul wins. So I would probably go in a safer route, probably with Seth Rollins, because they might do something with Rollins in the future, might do something to a different feud. So there you go. The third match on night one. Trish Stratus, Lita, Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. There's rumors that Trish Stratus may turn heel. I do think Trish Stratus and Lita. I think that'd be stupid because who the fuck's gonna boo Trish Stratus? You know what I mean? I mean, am I saying that Trish Stratus could not be a good heel? She could be. It's just I don't really want to see her as a heel. Especially unless she does some hot shit as a heel, hell yeah. Be seductive as a heel, hell yeah. But she doesn't need to be a heel. I mean, be seductive as a face, why not? But she doesn't need to be a heel. She doesn't, because people are not. It probably won't work because people are not gonna fucking cheer Becky over Trish Stratus. You know what I mean? But I do think fucking Trish, Lita, and Becky should beat Damage Control, and maybe that could lead to Damage Control disbanding. Because who fucking gives a shit about Damage Control? You know what I mean? Strowman, Ricochet versus Street Profits versus Chad Gable, Otis versus the Viking Raiders in a men's showcase fatal 4-way tag team match. They should have had the Andre Battle Royal on the show, or a Battle Royal for a man and a woman. Again, in a perfect world, WrestleMania would be 4 nights. 4 hours, 1 night only. You have a time limit for certain matches to not go so long. Or you don't do a lot of these matches. You don't need this match. You honestly don't need a showcase match for the men and the women. You don't. Unless sure, the idea maybe a future title tag match. Sure, okay. But it's they haven't even announced. I don't know. It's just who really cares? In my opinion, the Andre Battle Royal. I know why should we care aside from them winning a trophy? Well, what you add a stipulation where the winner gets a title match. Any title, even a tag title, one of the Street Profits, shit like that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's what I would do. I mean, I wouldn't mind even doing the problem is they did the Fatal 4-Way on SmackDown, which each matches were for no reason, basically giving away the match. It's why should we care? Unless those matches had you get to have a stipulation you want, then I would have made sense. I would have made this a ladder match. The women, you could have made that since Liv Morgan's team won. In theory, I would make a bra and panties match, but you want to be modern, care about women's wrestling, be not degrading bullshit. You want to, by logic, you could do Liv Morgan. She wants an Extreme Rules tag elimination bullshit. I don't fucking know. But yeah, whoever should win this match, I mean, I guess the Street Profits. You know, they're a tag team compared to everybody except the Viking Raiders. But it's like, what can you really do with them, you know? Rey Mysterio versus Dominic is happening at WrestleMania Night 1. Dominic Mysterio could win this match. It's definitely this is one of the feuds that actually been built. I do think the build could have been a little bit better, but definitely the feud has been going good lately. It was. I would have liked it, you know, if like, you know, just Dominic making Rey Mysterio's life a living hell. Even when he goes SmackDown, he follows him just for the sake of it, and like. There should be like a consequence, like the idea, like how, oh, hit me, Dad, hit me. Like the idea should be like, because he got hit by, and he got like, you know, if he got hit, he gets like Rey Mysterio could go in jail. I wish that would have been something funny to mention and do, you know. But regardless, the match looks like it will be a good match, and it's going to be something interesting. A father versus son, first time ever match. You know what I mean? I do think Dominic could win and should win. It would help him, obviously, because he is the son, and I know Rey Mysterio is going to put him over. But at the end of the day, the match is going to be interesting. It's going to be good. I do think it's going to be interesting. And I'm liking what they're doing with Dominic. So, God bless WWE for at least helping Dominic reinvent himself and doing well. So that's definitely something I'd give a plus. And that's what I was, again, this is why I say even though the build hasn't been great, it's better than last year, even though there's been, despite it being boring. It's just been boring. Because there's been not like every time like doing good builds, you know? Like for example, the build, like, I will give credit, like, the Bloodline has been interesting. The Edge and Finn Balor story. Rey and Dominic's story. Those are like the only matches that were real kind of stories that make you care about them, you know? So I'll give credit with that. So yeah, Dominic would win, and he should kind of win. So there you go, it would help him. Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley. Some people say that this should main event because the because they're women and they won the Royal Rumble, whatever. That analogy has been debunked many times. The women don't need a main event because, again, it just... First of all, I'm sorry, they don't draw. No one cares what women's goddamn wrestling unless you're a white knight, a smuck, a cuck. You're trying to fucking appeal to women. You know, listen, every time we have the women main event to show, it sucks. People leave, and I don't give... Some people tend to care that, oh, the Sasha Bianca match was historic. No, it wasn't. People were walking away, man. People won't give a shit. Stop. You're just a cuck, a faggot, a white knight to try to pretend women wrestling care. No one cares. It's just equivalent to the WNBA, okay? If you have the main event, people are going to leave early, and it's going to fucking, you know, no one cares. Especially the bill. Come on. The bill has not been great that it should be the main event. Like, come on. And again, the Royal Rumble. Oh, she won the Royal Rumble. That's been debunked. Just because you win the Rumble doesn't mean you need to main event WrestleMania. Because that happened many times where there's been times where the Royal Rumble winner does not need to fucking main event WrestleMania. Where they haven't, okay? Come on. Come on here, people. Who I think should win? I mean, maybe Rhea Ripley might win or should win. I don't know. I do think hopefully they will combine the titles. I hope they combine the titles for, you know... There'll be only one women's champion because I don't want to see any titles being separated. Same thing with Roman since he apparently held the WWE title on SmackDown only. Like, why? They should not separate the titles at all. Keep them unified. And it's even by logic. If they, for some reason, have Roman lose to Cody, how does that make any sense and look good for him when someone finally pins Roman and he only wins one title? Like, how does that make any fucking sense? Like, come on. Rhea Ripley could win, sure. The Usos versus Roman Reigns and Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is definitely the match that should main event the show. Definitely definitely an intriguing match because of the story, and I do think it will be a great match. I can't believe I like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens now. I can't believe it because, you know, the story. What this character's storyline does for you? You know, it's an amazing thing. You know, makes you actually care about the wrestlers. They're just they're indie wrestler bullshit. You know what I mean? Obviously, why not have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win? You know, it makes sense for them to win and dethrone the Usos as the tag champs and shit like that. Yeah, why not? And that would lead to like night 2, which I do think Roman should retain, but basically you do like a reverse what happened to Royal Rumble to Cody, but Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens comes out, but then they get handcuffed, but like the pressure's on the Usos to attack Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. but they were a bit reluctant. Jey Uso was gonna do the undunkable, maybe like turn his back on Roman because he's like tired of the stress. But then Roman stops him. He stops him, but then he attacks Jey Uso, and his brother stops Roman, showing that the Usos are leaving the bloodline. But then Solo proves he's the true member, and they all attack. They all attack the Usos. The Usos are attacked themselves. You could, and again, I do think The Rock should fucking return. Even he's not gonna wrestle at WrestleMania. The Rock should be at WrestleMania in a little way where he fucking shows up to save fucking, you know, the Usos. That's what I would do. It should happen in that type of way. You know what I mean? Why not? That's what I would do. But yeah, alright, I kind of mentioned what should happen night 2 with Roman. So yeah, Roman should beat Cody because, again, like, what is there for Cody to, again, I'm not a big fan of Cody Rhodes. And also, like, I'm not a big fan of the booking of, like, you know, this is not an intriguing world title main event compared to even last year. I will give a positive to last year, where at least, like it or not, you're intrigued because of the star power and even the story with Lesnar and Reigns even, you know? Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is not that intriguing as, like, let's say Cody as Roman versus Sami at Elimination Chamber. I'll have to say that. But because, you know, again, like, this also goes to the problem with him winning the Rumble. Winning at number 30, he didn't struggle. The guy, like, oh, my father, tell me what you want to talk about. And all this stupid shit. No heat in the feud. There's not really, again, what is good about Cody, like, you know, I don't really care about him. Like, I don't think he's a good promo. He's not a good storyteller. I don't think he's really entertaining. No story, no character, no charisma with this guy, in my opinion. I do think, like, if he was to win the title, it'll just be, like, typical WWE fans turn their back on him after he wins the gold. It's like, it'll be a waste of a Roman Reigns build. That's why, honestly, if you're going to have someone dethrone Roman, I would rather, like, Edge, if he wins Money in the Bank, someone to star. Heck, I mean, I wouldn't even mind even Lashley, even though, like, really Lashley, but it's like, whatever. I wouldn't even mind, let's say, fucking a new star like Braun Breaker, Gable Steveson, even though he hasn't been training. But it's gotta be someone, or heck, the Bloodline members, you know? It's just like, you gotta do good stories. But they haven't had a star, that's the problem. But I would rather have it, like, fuck it. I would rather even keep the title on Roman because he's the top star there that people give a fuck, you know? And it helps the title. But yeah, I would not have Cody, because especially, like, maybe if you build him up more, sure, but, like, they haven't done enough, and I don't really care, and I just think it's not intriguing enough to, like, it would kind of make Roman look so weak, you know? I don't think that's good. So I don't think Cody should win. It's just, like, it's kind of would be gay, too. Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. I do think it'll be a great match. I do think Sheamus should win. Do I think, like, there's a possibility Gunther might just retain, but I think Sheamus should win to get his moment. Pinning Sheamus, pinning fucking Gunther, why not? You know what I mean? And this could lead to, like, a rematch with them, too, in the future. Even, like, a UK, you know, all that. It's gonna be good stuff. Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor. There's rumors of Gangrel returning at WrestleMania. The good news is they're bringing back the original Hell in a Cell, which I'm so happy about. This could definitely be one of the best matches. Heck, I wouldn't even mind this match even being the main event night 1, you know, but this is good. Edge should win, because I'm not going to, like, I will give credit with Finn Balor. He has improved with the Judgment Day as a character, but I still think Finn Balor, he's just a representation of your typical indie wrestler who just gave stomps. And I just think, again, like, why is, the Demon. Listen, the Demon is just a cosplay. Like, what's so demon about him? Like, I don't care about Finn Balor, the Demon. Like, why should that, like, be intriguing for him to face Edge, in my opinion? So, like, nah. I don't want to see Demon Balor, you know? I don't want to see that. I don't care for it. I think it's gay. And I don't think Edge should lose to a cosplay Demon. Edge should win because, you know, he deserves it, I think. He's one of your top stars. You're kind of going to make him weak like that. And plus, like, with Edge, you know, why not? Like, I think Edge, like, I think he needs it more because it will just hurt him even more, I think. It just make him look weak. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't care. Like, but I think the match will be amazing. I do think it'll be a good match. I'll give credit with that because it's Hell in a Cell, you know? Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus 99 Far Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey, Daniel Baszler, Chelsea Green, and Sonya Dykeville. Team Ronda's gonna win. No, it's just like you know it's gonna happen. Bianca versus Asuka, you might as well just maybe like. The problem is there's not much heat to it. Like, why should Asuka win? Like they're just she did like Bianca has been champion for like even 1 year. Like it makes no sense. I think like when there's no heat to the feud. In my opinion, you might as well just keep the title on Bianca. So fuck it. Lesnar versus Almas. Again, this should have been Lesnar versus Lashley or whatever, or something more better. The reason why this is happening because like Lesnar didn't want to face Wyatt, or there's not much intriguement. They're like, nothing us for Lesnar to do. Obviously, Lesnar should win because it would just kind of make Almas look. It would just make Lesnar look weak. We kind of seen this match before already with like Lesnar and Big Show and shit like that. But at the end of the day, it is a spectacle for WrestleMania. So, hey, Lesnar should win. F5, simple. Trying to make it, I guess, a bit intriguing, fast, but, a bit intriguing. Why not? You know what I mean? So, hey, why not have Lesnar win? Lesnar obviously should win, so. And I already talked about the main event, Roman versus Cody. Roman should win. And then, like I said, the scenario, what they should do as a main event. Heck, maybe, like, why not have The Rock return? Rock return in the end to save the bloodline, like save Usos from Roman. And then that would lead to, like, maybe WrestleMania 40, Rock versus Roman. Whether the title or not, That's what I would do. So that's my preview predictions and how it could be, or just my thoughts of the entire road to WrestleMania. Let's hope WrestleMania in general will be a good show or whatever. Until next time, peace, yeah, bye, alright? Or let's just hope I have a fun WrestleMania, but modern WrestleMania is whatever. But I think it has a little potential then compared to like recent years to be a better WrestleMania. The WrestleMania stage does look good though, I will say that. Till next time, peace, yeah, bye. WrestleMania Hollywood, people. I will say it is definitely the best part of this bill was the fucking packages. Some of them were shit, but the Joker with Seth Rollins and the Bloodline as the Goodfellas is good stuff.